It's called the arrival fallacy. So this lack of acceptance that develops early on, where we feel like we must perform to be of value or to earn the attention of others, that leads us to perfectionistic tendencies as adults, where we set these very, very, very high standards for ourselves, beat ourselves up when we inevitably don't reach them, and then just set the next high standard. And so for a lot of people, this does propel them forward. This does propel them to amazing heights. But as you said, they might reach that number one pinnacle, and then they stop and think, this is not what I wanted. This is not the life that I wanted to lead. And so what we need to think about with success is two elements. Okay, there is the material success, the status, the external success, but then there is that internal feeling that really should be coming with it. Mm-hmm. The sense of satisfaction, the sense of fulfillment. And so anyone who is driven by a lack of acceptance, what we see in a lot of really high performers is that if they're driven by this, yes, they have amazing work ethic. Yes, they're incredibly diligent, but they never feel satisfied. And that level of emptiness that they feel also drives them to try and seek that satisfaction from the next hit, the next achievement. It's called the arrival fallacy. When I get there, I will feel like I've made it. And then they get there and they think, well, why doesn't this feel any different? And then they set the next goal and they're perpetually seeking this state of enoughness. And then they sacrifice things on the way to get there because they're so fixated on believing when I get there, everything will fall into place, that they've sacrificed relationships, they've sacrificed time with their children, they've sacrificed family, they've sacrificed well-being generally. And so, yes, it may be a driver. The fundamental question that we get asked about perfectionism, because we have a lot of people who say, well, I set high standards and I think it's a good thing. Isn't that a good thing? The fundamental difference is what happens when you don't achieve the standards. That determines whether it's perfectionism or it's just striving for excellence. If you beat yourself up and tell yourself, I'm a failure, I'm not enough, I'm terrible, you judge yourself, that is a sign of perfectionism that is called maladaptive. That is a reflection of you not feeling like you're enough. So you punish yourself. Whereas if you fall short, yeah, you can feel disappointed for a while. That's fine. That's natural. That's human. But then if you ask yourself, okay, how do I get better? How do I learn? And how do I apply what I've learned to implement it the next time I do it to get further ahead?
Yeah.
That's called striving for excellence. And it all comes down to your approach.